Parker Kligerman is in the Daytona 500. You had two cars to beat. Midway through the race, you were ahead of both of them, and then suddenly you weren't. Take us through the last 15 laps.
Oh, man, I was on autopilot. I have no idea what happened. I just know that we were there where I was behind Reddick, ahead of Truex, and I know what Truex is doing because he knew if Reddick wins, beats us, he's in, we're out. And I couldn't get any help, and I could not pass Reddick by myself. You know, you need help. And then I see the 18 cars falling out of the draft, and I'm like, yes. He fell all the way back to us. Once he got there, you know, like we started talking to our spotters and trying to figure out what he wanted to do and how he was going to help and everything. And then finally he popped. I fell back to go forward, and he gave us, you know, the TRD power linked up together, and we drove by the 31 car. And then from there it was a block fest. I just blocked the heck. I've never blocked so hard in my entire life, swerving down the backstretch and everything just to hold them off. And we're in the Daytona 500.
You were able to do that, to hold off Tyler Reddick and Ryan Truex, make the Daytona 500. Parker, Kyle Busch works with you. Is that because you drove for him in the Truck Series? You guys have a relationship? Is it a Toyota car? How does Kyle Busch decide to work for you then?
I think, look, Toyota, we don't have a lot of cars in this race. So the more Toyotas in the race, the better, right? And I think, you know, I've had a great relationship with him for a long time since I drove for him, and he's always been someone that if I needed some advice or just wanted to reach out for a question, I could reach out to him. He's done the same to me. A lot of times about the Truck Series, since we, you know, have been in the Truck Series together a lot of times racing each other. So, you know, I think it's a mutual respect, and I'm very glad that I've made that relationship for this exact reason right here, because he's the reason we got in the Daytona 500.
You're in the race. Anybody can win, they say about the Daytona 500. What are your odds for Sunday?
I don't know. We just won. I haven't even thought about it. I mean, I know I've been playing on a cool face and like being like, yeah, I'm not worried at all. This is the most anxiety I've ever had in my entire life. So I'll put it out there now that we made it. I don't ever want to go through this again, having to go through, race your way in the Daytona 500. But I think we got some work to do handling wise. You know, when I was up there 3 wide, middle of the pack, up front, I could tell we weren't quite as good as those other cars. So we got some work to do. But Mark Hillman and everyone on this team, we're gonna figure it out. We're in Daytona 500. It's all gravy from here, man. It's all gravy.
Sense of relief here for Parker Kligerman. He will race on Sunday. Kevin Harvick with a win in the first qualifying race tonight, Daytona. Kevin got up front fairly early, and then single file must be behind you. Was it more challenging than it appeared, or was it an easy night for you?
Well, the getting to the pit road part was the most important part. We had a good strategy, and we were able to keep the draft there pretty tight. You know, when the 19 peeled off, and then we were able to not get jammed up getting to pit road. And I think our pit stall, you know, helped us a little bit too, because we were able to get in there pretty hard, and the guys did a great job getting the fuel in there, and we came out in the lead. So, you know, I think our Busch Beer Ford Mustang was fast enough to hold the lead, and we were fortunate to have a couple of Fords behind us, and you know, with half the field in there, it makes it hard for that bottom to get the run that it needs to finish the passes. So, you know, I think as we get into Sunday, it'll be a lot different, because you'll have all 40 cars on the racetrack, and those runs will be a lot harder to guard when that bottom line gets rolling.
You mentioned Ford's finished 1, 2, 3 tonight. A lot of talk last year about the dominance on the plate tracks. New Mustang body this year seems like picked up right where you left off.
It does, and a lot of that has to do with the engines that are under the hood. That's the common denominator in the whole thing. And then you have a lot of guys that are doing a great job in the Super Speedway program here at RCR, or RCR, SHR. It's been a long time. That was the last time I've been to Victory Lane, and that Daytona was with RCR. So, you know, it's been a while, but you know, everybody's doing a great job at Stewart-Haas Racing with the Speedway stuff. And obviously, you've seen the program and the way that we ran at Talladega at the end of the year. Things have changed a little bit with the body and some of the rules with the rear end, and felt like we lost a little bit of speed. But I think they'll get the speed back when they learn all the details of the Mustang, and this is really the only race we'll run in this rules package anyway, so need to work on the next rules package, but today looked pretty good.
So speaking of that RCR win, 2007, 12 years ago, your Daytona 500 win, how do you like your odds for another one on Sunday?
Well, our car's fast enough, you know, and our cars have been fast enough the last few years. It's just a matter of missing the wreck. Last year we were running 3rd or 4th and got piled up in a wreck right off the bat in the first half of the race. So, you know, we've been, in the wrong position and made some mistakes and done a lot of things wrong and wrecked a lot of cars at the super speedways. So tonight we had a clean race and wound up in victory lane.
All right. Kevin Harvick will go for his second win in the Great American Race on Sunday. Joe Logano wins at Daytona with a last lap pass, 4th to 1st on the final lap. I heard you say that you had the whole race to think about how you were going to make that move. Is that how you envisioned it?
Well, you have like 4 plans in your mind, and it all depends on what other drivers do. And it's, you know, TJ did a great job just explaining to me what's going on behind me, painting that picture of who's making the runs, where the runs are coming from, who's laying back and trying to do things. And, you know, it's trying to, one play defense off of that. but two, how can I make that into my move, and when do you make that move? So all those things are running through your mind as these laps are counting down, and and the white flag came out, and I had to run on the 10, and I said, well, this is it. This is the moment. So I took it, and you can't hesitate in those moments. You just got to go, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, shoot, right? But was able to pull back to 10 enough to slow down the top's momentum a little bit, and then continue mine as I went to the bottom. And the 12 went with me. Blaney was a great teammate all day today, and was able to continue my push to be able to clear the 14 car and ultimately drive into the coolest victory lane in motorsports, in my opinion. So it's always a special feeling to come driving in here. It brings back 2015 memories for me. It makes me really want to do it again Sunday.
Yeah. So Fords sweep the top three in both qualifying races, Joey. Last year, Fords were fairly dominant in the plate races. New body this year, but it seems like no change. You feel like the Mustang is right where you guys were last year?
Yeah, these speedways, it's more than just one thing, right? It takes a fast car for sure, and the Mustang has proven to be very fast. So that's a great sign for us. But the teamwork and how we all work together, that's another great piece of it, a big piece of what happens on these speedways. And I think Ford does a great job at that, and I don't think that's a secret to the garage. So we just got to continue that, and we'll keep seeing success when it comes to plate races. So it's a good start for us. Like I said, it's a good way to keep our momentum from last year. But it's just a heat race. we got to go to the feature.
Yeah, the big one is Sunday. You mentioned you won the big one in 2015 here. You come in here as the defending series champion. I'm sure this just adds to that confidence. I mean, what do you feel like your odds are for getting a second one on Sunday?
Pretty good after today. I feel great about it. I got a really fast car. I got a car that handles well, that can make moves. The car in the Clash was able to draw that bottom lane up. I don't think there's been many cars that have been able to do that, and it shows that it has speed again today. So all signs are pointing to the good right now, and as long as we just do our jobs and run the race like we have planned, and we should be able to put ourselves in position to at least try to do something at the end like we did tonight.
All right, Joey Logano says he loves coming the victory lane here at Daytona. He'll try to do it again on Sunday.
Hey NASCAR fans, thanks for checking out the NBC Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe below for the latest NASCAR news, race highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.